Every single fan of the rock band Rush has the exact same problem. At some point in our life, we've tried to get a loved one, a family member, to like this Canadian prog rock band as much as we do. And we fail. Again, and again, and again. Well, now that Rush is back together, I've gone through all the albums and I've got it. A 6-step, foolproof method to make anyone and everyone realize they actually are a fan of Rush. And 5 of the 6 steps don't require listening to Geddy Lee's voice. I'm going to share them now, plus a bonus revelation on Robert's Record Corner. I'm Robert. There is no band in the rock and roll world quite like Rush. They've made 19 studio albums from 1974 to 2012. They're famous for mathematical precision, high quality musicianship, ever-changing time signatures, songs about androids, songs about black holes, songs about Bytor and the Snow Dog. The one thing that you know about Rush is that you can never put your finger on them. In the beginning, they sounded like Led Zeppelin. Then they made full-blown prog rock epics that lasted a full side of a record. In the 1980s, they were making new wave music with Till Tuesday's Amy Mann. You couldn't put your finger on Rush. Every year they changed, and their fans went with them. I've been listening since the early 80s as a teenager, and I believe that there are only 2 kinds of people in this world: fans of Rush and people who don't know yet that they're fans of Rush. Here are the 6 steps that can convert any Rush skeptic, beginning with step 1.
Oh, it's the light.
Somebody peed on my chair.
Step 1, meet the band. It is definitely not a good idea to listen to the music of Rush to become a fan of Rush, not at first. Just meet the band, because you're going to like them. And I say this with confidence because everyone likes Rush, because Rush is the most likable band in rock history.
I'm going to get someone to come down here and kick your ass unless you get out of here now.
Let's meet them. You have Geddy Lee, the singer, bass player, keyboard player. His parents miraculously met in a concentration camp in World War II, got married, and immigrated to Canada. In fact, Geddy's real name is Gary, but his mom's Polish accent's so thick it sounds like Geddy. He writes about it in his autobiography, My Effin' Life, which is one of the silliest and dorkiest names for an autobiography ever. Now, his best friend growing up is Alex Lifeson, who plays guitar and is the chief jokester in the band. His parents were Serbian and immigrated from Yugoslavia to Canada. There's some amazing footage of Alex when he was a teenager sitting at the dinner table and talking to his parents about why he didn't want to go to school, he just wanted to rock and roll.
What kind of experience you had? Everything went wrong with him so far. You're a big mistake.
The initial drummer was John Rutsey, who was only there for 1 album, and he was replaced by the endearing efforts and contributions of Neil Peart. Neil Peart is considered one of the greatest drummers in rock and roll history, and he became the lyricist of the band, helping form what Rush would become. Sometimes they call him the Professor for his likeness to a certain character on Gilligan's Island. Sadly, he passed away 5 years ago. Now, as serious as Rush takes their music and their musicianship and the precision and the lyrics and the symbolism of their album covers, they never really take themselves that seriously.
Come on, what else you got, Schlobovitz?
Coming right up.
Friendly voice, companion of no true self.
And you see that when they would start concerts by playing the Three Stooges theme or shooting these hilarious skits where they're making total lampoon characters in themselves.
Wasn't so bad.
Hey, my bar mitzvah band is better than that.
But what I think is the most important thing to do is simply watch Rush have dinner together.
Pure fat, topped with a layer of fat.
Your favorite.
Pow!
In 2010, they shot an extra for a fantastic documentary, Beyond the Lighted Stage, of them just having this sprawling meal with bottle after bottle after bottle of wine.
Thank you.
And the thing that you take from them is they're total goofballs. There's no ego.
F*** you guys.
And they love each other's company.
And I sense from my good friend...
I've got some great ideas.
Oh, yes.
And I'm speaking from the heart.
And did I mention they're Canadian? Step 2, read the reviews of Rush, and in particular, read reviews from the 1970s and early 1980s, because music critics hated Rush. It is hard to imagine a pop band churning out cynical pop hit after pop hit after pop hit being more reviled than Rush was. They're Nickelback for the critics.
Look at this photograph.
And all I have to do is read the articles. Start with Robert Christgau, the self-proclaimed American Dean of Rock Critics, who in 1977 described Rush as the most obnoxious band on the zonked teen circuit. Zonked means stoned, I had to look it up. Hometown Press in Canada wasn't any nicer. The Toronto-based writer Alan Neister described Geddy's voice as a cross between Donald Duck and Robert Plant. Meanwhile, Montreal Gazette's John Griffin described Geddy's voice as a guinea pig with an amphetamine habit. It's not very nice, particularly for a Canadian. Then you have Kurt Loder. Now, Kurt Loder, with his studied expression that exuded cultural critical prowess, on MTV News giving you key information like,
Who Framed Roger Rabbit has all the earmarks, if you'll pardon the pun, of a hot movie.
Wrote about Rush in 1984 in a review in Rolling Stone magazine on Grace Under Pressure that it was old music. He said Alex Lifeson wasn't a particularly interesting guitarist. He gave a backhanded compliment to Geddy, saying that at least he got the dog-calling falsetto shriek under control. By the way, recent photos of Kurt Loder seems much more chipper. Maybe he finally came around to Rush. But the worst of all was Cream magazine. Cream magazine had it in for Rush. They called Rush musicians by innuendo. They said their material was one giant mistake unto itself. They asked how many levels of pretentious boredom can there be?
I can honestly say I've never been bored for a second in my life.
They even called the whole thing a miasma of moronism. Is that how you say moronism? And what is miasma? I don't know. And the key captain in this cavalcade of ridicule against Rush was a Detroit writer by the name of Jay Cordish, who said that he only got into music writing to make fun of bands. I'm playing the empathy card here. Read the reviews. The critics finally came around to Rush, but they were the last of the party. The ones who were there all the time are the fans. Step 3 for being a fan of Rush: you don't have to be a Rush fan to be a fan of Rush. Let me explain. In high school, I had every Rush album. I saw Rush several times. I could even kind of play the harmonics of the guitar part in Red Barchetta on my Squire Bullet. But I quickly found out that there was a difference between being a Rush fan and a fan of Rush. And I wasn't a Rush fan. Rush fans are a dead serious bunch. They don't tolerate any criticism of the band. They're the first ones to tell you that it's pronounced Neil Peart, not Neil Peart. They can precisely identify the moments where time signatures transition in La Villa Strangiato from 4/4 to 3/4 to 7/8 to 3/8 to 5/4 to 12/8. I didn't even know 12/8 was a time signature. They will debate the symbols and puns and meanings of Hugh Symes' album covers and the meanings of the lyrics, which they'll tell you are deeper than love song lyrics. They will expect that you know the precise calculus of the Rush ratio of studio albums to live albums from their discography from 1974 to 1998. I'm talking about 1 studio album, 2, 3, 4, then double live album. Again, 1 studio album, 2, 3, 4, then double live album. If you repeat this about 10 times, you won't forget it. But remember, this only works for the albums from 74 to 98. The calculus changes after that. And by the way, I love Rush fans. They're a hilarious bunch, particularly the Rush fans behind the YouTube channel, Rush Fans. I put on my Rush hat and take it off to you guys at Rush Fans over on YouTube. You guys are great. But all I'm saying is you don't have to go that far in. You don't have to deconstruct the meaning of the floating bunny on the Presto album cover to be a fan of Rush. Step 4 to be a fan of Rush: watch their rock and roll induction ceremony. Now, for better or worse, the Louvre of Rock and Roll is Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is known for having a very controversial and much debated process for anointing performers, singers, bands, producers into their hallowed halls, which is essentially a museum with old guitars and outfits. Now, technically, you can be nominated and inducted to the ceremony 25 years after your first release. For Rush, that's 1999. They were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, finally, in 2013. And it is baffling to me that a band that created its own genre and sold over 45 million records worldwide had to wait 14 years to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Watch the ceremony. At the beginning, you see the MC, who is Jan Winter, publisher of Rolling Stone magazine and no particular fan to the band Rush, starting to mention their name.
And from Toronto,
the crowd doesn't even let him get the name of the band out of his mouth. They spontaneously erupt into an extended standing ovation, which is absolutely a beautiful thing to see. And it gets better. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should have a Hall of Fame for speeches, and at the top of the Hall of Fame speeches is the one that Rush would give. Not by Geddy, not by wordsmith Neil, but by that so-called ordinary guitarist Alex Lifeson.
blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
He puts it all there, all of the emotion.
Blah, 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 blah.
The ups and the downs and the sorrows and the anguish and the successes.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
The joys, the fun of being in a band for so long.
Blah, blah. Blah, blah. Blah, blah.
It is perfect. By the way, is this a time to say like and subscribe? Step 5. It's time to listen to a Rush song. Now, you just heard the first 5 seconds of Tom Sawyer, their most iconic and famous song from 1981's Moving Pictures. That is Geddy playing an Oberheim OBX synthesizer through a moved bass pedal to get that sweeping sound. And I think it's the greatest recorded synthesizer sound in the history of rock and roll. In fact, when I saw the Beastie Boys in concert, they opened their set with a sample of that very keyboard from Tom Sawyer. But don't listen to it yet. I don't think you're ready to listen to Geddy's voice because so many Rush skeptics, falsely or not, consider Geddy's voice as the ultimate barrier to entry to becoming a fan of Rush. We'll get to that in a bit. Start instead with an instrumental also from Moving Pictures, YYZ. That syncopated start is Neil hitting the cymbals in Morse code for YYZ. I know this is a little dorky. And YYZ is the airport code for the Pearson International Airport in their hometown of Toronto. Song's fantastic. I recently played this song for someone. They were going, wow, that's funky, that's great. Who is it? Rush. They had no idea. Listen during that Spanish-style electric guitar solo for that crashing sound on the studio version. That's Neil actually hitting some plywood, heavily reverbed and echoed. This is getting dorky, I know. Even better is watching the 2002 live version in Rio. I've seen a half dozen Rush concerts. I've never seen an audience go that crazy. This is the big moment. What Rush song with vocals do you play a Rush skeptic first? And there's no clear answer. And a lot of it depends on the level of skepticism that they have. If they absolutely can't deal with prog rock, stay away from the 1970s. No Cygnus X1, no Xanadu, no Bytor, no 2112. Not yet. I think the best sweet spot to start is that little poppy corridor from 1980 to 1985 where Rush were starting to employ sounds from the Police and even new wave bands. I know that there's Rush fan lurkers watching this, and I really want to know what song you play for Rush skeptics first. What is the first song you play? And I'm going to follow this video up with the 10 songs, the 10 first songs that I think anyone should hear from Rush. But some of the things I'm thinking about is, if they're particularly poppy, you could play Closer to the Heart from 1977 as close to a pop single or a love song that Rush ever did, and it's under 3 minutes.
Closer to the heart.
I think even better, perhaps, is New World Man from 1982, which was the only song by Rush to ever make the top 40 in the US. It peaked at 21.
He's not concerned with yesterday.
Very catchy chorus. You could play any song with vocals on the first side of Moving Pictures. And then there's the ultimate perfect Rush song, Spirit of Radio from 1980. Please let me know what you think. Now, I said there'd be a bonus revelation, and here it is. Somewhere over the course of Rush's career, there came a myth that Rush was only for men, that women hated Rush. And generally the fans does lean quite male, but it's a complete myth that women don't like Rush. At the last concert for Rush in 2015 in Los Angeles, I went there and I covered it for Globe and Mail. And in particular, I covered RushCon.
This is Robert Reed reporting for the Globe and Mail in Los Angeles at RushCon 15.
The conference for fans. Did you know that RushCon was founded and run by women Rush fans?
The whole team of RushCon organizers is women.
I am one of the organizers of RushCon.
And the women fans are bananas.
You like Rush, but you're a girl.
I love to sing Rush. I am the lead singer in a Rush tribute band.
Like, same reason why you love the band, bro. Like,
the family of Rush welcomes everyone. This is what I'm thinking is a foolproof way to get someone to realize that down deep they really do like Rush. Please like and subscribe. I love making videos like this, and your support really helps. See you next time on Robert's Record Corner.
Oh, a genius. Listen, to me, you're a genius. To O'Malley, you're a genius. But to a genius, you're no genius.